Hello and welcome. And as the video is titled, that of, let's see, how am I going to title it? Spreadsheet accounting, something in that area? Accounting for trades? That's what I'm going to be talking about. I made a very simple spreadsheet which tracks the buys and the sells, and I've done this on a day-by-day basis going back to July 4th of this year. I'll show a little over 3 months up to this current point of trades. I'm not going to mention the code name crossed against Bitcoin, but if you've been following my channel, you'll probably know or figure out which code it is. So what we have is the buys and sells. So how many you buy, what the amount is, and this is the amount in Bitcoin, and this is with the rake included. And then I put the average. I sorted it to 8 decimals because that's how the Satoshis work. And on July the 4th, I sold 5,060 of these coins. And I did so at the average price of $5.97. On July the 8th, I had 2,200 of them get filled in buy orders at the 476 average. When I was looking at the market conditions that day, I was thinking, you know, I think it's going to go down more. I don't know if I wanted to buy here. I want to lower my buy order, I'm thinking to myself, significantly. Okay, so let's sell it, because I can sell it now. What was an average of 501. So let's do it, and I did. And this is one of the mistakes that I think I am making, is lack of aggression. I have almost 6 figures of these coins at this time. And I could have sold a lot more in a gambling situation, knowing that, hey, it's probably going to go down more. Let's sell it, and let's sell a bit more, and then buy it back at the cheaper price. 7-Eleven, or July the 11th, I was able to buy about 1,200 of them at the 437 handle. And then several days without a trade, 5 of them. But then the price, I ended up saying, you know what, let's just buy more. I bought a little higher of a price than I did before. And then maybe I was a little too early on the game because I was right, the prices were going to go down lower. And I decided as it was, and with a little bit more reason to be more confident, let's increase the amount that I want to buy. This got me over 6 figures, buying over 25,000 at 432. One of the mistakes I made, I should have been a little more aggressive, I think, buying below here, especially with the amount of liquidity that I had to buy more. But this is on the 20th, I bought close to 5,000 at 384, 2,200 the next day, 1,000 of them at the price of 362. And then the selling would come into place. July 25th, selling 5,000 at an average price of 430. And then the next day, selling 4,500 at the average price of 496. Selling at the 430 for 5,000. Well, if we look at this, there's over 69, that's 70, about 8,000 that were bought under 400. So selling them at 430, and then knowing that I bought 25,000 at 432, well, some of those, of course, sold at 496, and then again at 538. And then things got very interesting at the end of the month into August. As on July 31st, I sold up well over the 600 number, selling 6,000 to the average of such. Then it went down that day. So I bought at the end of the day at average price of 551. Bought some more on August the 1st, the next day at 519 average. And then I bought some more at the 509 average, but it went up, so I was able to sell. And then it came back down the next day. I should have bought more than 1,020, and I realized that. I've changed it up since then, too. Then August the 6th, 2,500, I ended up selling, or on August the 6th, I sold 2,500 at average price of 583. And then over the next 3 days, buying a little over 1,000 on the 7th, the 8th, and 500 on the... So instead of buying, basically what was happening, I was selling 500 and was buying back 510. Now buying back 525. So therefore, everything that was sold here was bought back in here. So I sold at an average price of 583. I bought at an average price of around a little under 500. 509, 495, and 48 respectively. No trades on the 10th. August the 11th, I buy a little over 1,000 at 480. August the 13th, I buy a little over 2,000 at 461. And again, this is a situation where I don't know why I barely sold anything at all at the 473 mark, because this is another situation where I felt, you know what, it's probably a good situation to quote unquote gamble and sell. And sure enough, the next day it goes down to 428, buying a little over 3,800. 2 days without a trade on the 16th and 17th, but August 18th through 20th, small amount of buying, as I buy an average of 410 down to 392. A little over 1,000 bought on August 22nd, but this was a little frustrating, having no trade on the 23rd, the 24th, the 25th, the 26th, the 27th. But things started to pick up again on the 28th, as I was able to sell about 6,750 at an average price of 483. And the next day, I ended up, and there's a star here, I'll explain what that means. But I first sold 2,000 of them on August the 29th at an average price of 529. Then I bought back in that day. The market just started going down. So I bought 5,250 of them back at an average price of 439. Now this was on August the 29th. This wasn't on August the 30th. So after it bottomed, it started going back up again. So I started selling. 4,750 of them were taken away. I received 0.024 Bitcoin, and the average price was 510. And then again, several days without a trade. And I'm starting to feel that this is, I'm not going to say is going to become normal, but it's now become a lot worse, having not much going on. At least here, I'm trading 4 figures consistently, and that's cool. That isn't happening today. But 906, I buy 6,000 of them for 437. I dish out 2,000 at 483. Next day, I buy 2,725 at 417, while selling 2,000 at 478. The next day, on September the 8th, and now the amount that I'm selling as we move into September is going to substantially decrease, as it's working out that every sell order I have is 500. So when I have 2,000 sold, 4 orders got hit. 4 orders got hit. And in this situation here, only 1 order got hit at the 493. So I sold it for 002465, and then buying back for 00235 at a price of 428. I got 50 free tokens as I look at it, and a microscopic amount of free Bitcoin. Then on September the 12th, I have a buy and a sell. Next day, just 1 order gets in, sold at 498. And then as we move on to September 16th and 17th, a couple okay-sized buy orders come into place. And a very small sell on September 19th. And September 21st, a buy at 570. And now let's see how long we go without making trades. 26, no trade. 27, 28. This was a spot where it was a little over a week without making a trade. Now on September 29th, 4 orders got filled, and this was one person buying at one time. Bought it all the way up to a little under 500, and then nothing as we move into October. This has been getting frustrating, and I realize that's just how it's going to happen. Sometimes it's going to be really busy and really high volume, and then this is a low volume period. Nothing going on for over a week. I end up selling another 500 more October the 9th, which is 2 days ago, and I end up buying it back at the 464 numbers. The market has just been staying at that ever since, as it's only 1 day later since then. So what I'm going to do just for fun is, and I haven't calculated this yet, is get the stats since this point. I'm going to do a sum of all the buys, which works out to 80,173. How many have I sold? If I copy and paste here, it'll do it'll tell me that I've sold 50,000. So how much have I gotten for, or how much have I paid for the 80,000? Well, if I do a sum up here, I would get that of 0.35. My average buy, I'll just copy this, 439. So now let's get the sum of what I've received. So I've paid 0.35. I've got back 0.261. And the average is 518. So that's part of buying low, selling high. Now for fun again, I can take the differential. Since then, I have accumulated a total of 29,704 coins. The cost, well, I can subtract from this number, was about 0.09 Bitcoin for a buy average of 306. And the more of these trades that I get, the lower, of course, this is going to become. Now, this is a coin that I'm confident is going to be able to make it decently over 10,000 Satoshi. Currently trading it at around 400 and change, which is 464. It's pretty much at that price now. I think this is going to go over 15, 20, 25,000. That's why I say noticeably over 10,000 Satoshi. And as I get to see those prices, if they do happen to come, because there's no guarantee, that's when I will be saying, oh, I was at 6 figures. Now I'm in 4 figures of how many of the coins that I own. Because when you get to the levels of, oh, it's at 5,000, I'm going to sell some, but I realize it's going up much higher. 10,000, 12,000, 15, ooh, going to sell more, but I think it can double again. And then at that stage, if I see a situation, I'd be hoping that this goes to like between 10 to 25,000 and then retraces back to like 4,000. That's what I'm actually going to be hoping for. But what the market does is what it does. And as it's been doing, it's not been doing much. But at different times in the past, it can get extremely busy. And that's what I expect. Again, as and this is again, look at all these trades here. This will happen again. So thank you for tuning in. And again, this is just an idea of one way of accounting for stuff. And have yourself a great day. Bye bye.